AWS offers a set of services under management and governance. With AWS Management and Governance services, customers don't have to choose between innovation and control. They can have both. With AWS, customers can enable, provision, and operate their environment for both business agility and governance control. These services are built to manage highly dynamic cloud resources at massive scale. Let's briefly introduce a few of the important AWS management and governance services for AWS beginners as well as for the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam. Amazon CloudWatch. Amazon CloudWatch is a monitoring and management service built for developers, system operators, site reliability engineers, SRE, and IT managers. CloudWatch provides you with data and actionable insights to monitor your applications, understand and respond to system-wide performance changes, optimize resource utilization, and get a unified view of operational health. AWS CloudFormation. AWS CloudFormation gives developers and systems administrators an easy way to create and manage a collection of related AWS resources, provisioning and updating them in an orderly and predictable fashion. AWS CloudTrail. AWS CloudTrail is a web service that records AWS API calls for your account and delivers log files to you. The recorded information includes the identity of the API caller, the time of the API call, the source IP address of the API caller, the request parameters, and the response elements returned by the AWS service. AWS Compute Optimizer. AWS Compute Optimizer recommends optimal AWS resources for your workloads to reduce costs and improve performance by using machine learning to analyze historical utilization metrics. Over-provisioning resources can lead to unnecessary infrastructure cost, and under-provisioning resources can lead to poor application performance. Compute Optimizer helps you choose optimal configurations for 3 types of AWS resources: Amazon EC2 instances, Amazon EBS volumes, and AWS Lambda functions based on your utilization data. AWS Config. AWS Config is a fully managed service that provides you with an AWS resource inventory, configuration history, and configuration change notifications to enable security and governance. The AWS Config Rules feature enables you to create rules that automatically check the configuration of AWS resources recorded by AWS Config. AWS Control Tower. AWS Control Tower automates the setup of a baseline environment or landing zone that is a secure, well-architected multi-account AWS environment. The configuration of the landing zone is based on best practices that have been established by working with thousands of enterprise customers to create a secure environment that makes it easier to govern AWS workloads with rules for security, operations, and compliance. AWS Health Dashboard. AWS Health Dashboard provides alerts and remediation guidance when AWS is experiencing events that might affect you. While the Service Health Dashboard displays the general status of AWS services, AWS Health Dashboard gives you a personalized view into the performance and availability of the AWS services underlying your AWS resources. AWS Launch Wizard. AWS Launch Wizard offers a guided way of sizing, configuring, and deploying AWS resources for third-party applications such as Microsoft SQL Server Always On and HANA-based SAP systems without the need to manually identify and provision individual AWS resources. To start, you input your application requirements, including performance, number of nodes, and connectivity on the Service Console. Launch Wizard then identifies the right AWS resources, such as EC2 instances and EBS volumes, to deploy and run your application. AWS License Manager. AWS License Manager makes it easier to manage licenses in AWS and on-premises servers from software vendors such as Microsoft, SAP, Oracle, and IBM. AWS License Manager lets administrators create customized licensing rules that emulate the terms of their licensing agreements and then enforces these rules when an instance of Amazon EC2 gets launched. Administrators can use these rules to limit licensing violations, such as using more licenses than an agreement stipulates or reassigning licenses to different servers on a short-term basis. AWS Organizations. AWS Organizations helps you centrally manage and govern your environment as you grow and scale your AWS resources. Using AWS Organizations, you can programmatically create new AWS accounts and allocate resources, group accounts to organize your workflows, apply policies to accounts or groups for governance, and simplify billing by using a single payment method for all of your accounts. Service Catalog. Service Catalog allows organizations to create and manage catalogs of IT services that are approved for use on AWS. These IT services can include everything from virtual machine images, servers, software, and databases to complete multi-tier application architectures. Service Catalog allows you to centrally manage commonly deployed IT services and helps you achieve consistent governance and meet your compliance requirements while enabling users to quickly deploy only the approved IT services they need. AWS Systems Manager. AWS Systems Manager gives you visibility and control of your infrastructure on AWS. Systems Manager provides a unified user interface so you can view operational data from multiple AWS services and allows you to automate operational tasks across your AWS resources. With Systems Manager, you can group resources such as Amazon EC2 instances, Amazon S3 buckets, or Amazon RDS instances by application, view operational data for monitoring and troubleshooting, and take action on your groups of resources. AWS Well-Architected Tool. The AWS Well-Architected tool helps you review the state of your workloads and compares them to the latest AWS architectural best practices. A workload is defined as any set of components that deliver business value, which could be an application or website. The tool is based on the AWS Well-Architected framework developed to help cloud architects build secure, high-performing, resilient, efficient, and sustainable application infrastructure. In conclusion, with AWS Management and Governance services, you can set up and govern a new, secure multi-account AWS environment, establish central governance and management across AWS accounts, Review your architecture and adopt best practices. Set custom budgets that alert you when you exceed your budgeted thresholds. Set rules to manage, discover, and software license uses and many other management operations within AWS.